Welcome to Bourbon Forage Fishing. I'm Ryan. We've got an interesting side-by-side. Hopefully you can see it in camera. This is the 22 Thomas Handy, which I absolutely love, and have side-by-side this with the 21 and 20, and actually preferred this to the 21 and 20. This is the 2023 Thomas H. Handy. Even comes with a very badly damaged BTAC condom, which I think we'll just slide off now. Woo! There it goes. So we're going to crack this 2023 and see how it holds up to my 22, because I really like my 22. Let's see. We'll put the 23 on the right. The 22 on my left. Might be different for you. Let's give it a shot. Thomas Handy is usually the third best in the lineup of BTAC. If you don't know, it's George T. Seg, WLW, Thomas H. Handy, Eagle Rare 17, and Sazerac 18. The Eagle Rare 17 and the Sazerac 18 aren't really, they don't really count because they're not barrel proofs. They're great whiskeys, but they're not like the Handys or the William Rue Wellers. It's just a different ball game. So this is one of my favorites. Sometimes I go through moods where I even like the Handy more than the WLW sometimes. When I'm in the mood for a really good rye, I reach to my Handy here. I always say Thomas Handy is candy. It's delicious, and I always argue the best daily drinker. I love Thomas Handy for a good daily drinker. It's delicious. So cheers, let's get into these. Let's see if we can notice much of a difference off the get-go. Got a little bit more of the 23 in this glass. So I'm detecting a little bit more of maple syrup and really orange peel, like orange. This is more like candied. The notes are very similar, very spicy. Okay, interesting. No, so the 23 definitely has kind of a burnt caramel. Maybe a little bit more of a mint herb. Minty, herby. Yeah, it's almost like a peppermint winter candy compared to the 22. This is the 22. Yeah, you detect those notes, but this is more like candied. This is more like candy, like sweet. More like white sugary type candy. Yeah, definitely. Just more spice, more spices, more spice, more mint. The spices are more muted on this. There's still that mintiness and spice, but it's muted and it's more of a sweetness that sticks out. Let's go in for the palate here. Wow. God, I can see why I like that so much. It's just candy. It's just delicious, delicious candy. Definitely some spice on that. The 22 is quite a bit higher proof. The 22 is 3% higher, so it's got a bit of a burn. I haven't drank that in a while. Whew, that was a good mouthful. It's delicious candy and what are those cookies? Those spicy molasses cookies, are they? It's like a spicy, a spice bomb cookie. It's fucking delicious. Yummy. That's different. So there's definitely more mint in this. It's also very sweet. The sweetness is mint, peppermint. Peppermint sticking out here more. And I think there's a bit of more of a richness on the end with this one. Let's see if I detect it on the 22 now. This is the 23. Let's see if I detect that richness on the end as much. Whew. Yeah, the finish on this feels lighter and hotter on the 22. The finish on the Handy 22 feels lighter and hotter. There's definitely not as much herbaceousness. It's more just like sweetness, like candy, with some herbs mixed in. This is like a sweet peppermint drink of some sort. I'll see. Now I'm not picking up the richness on the nose. I think that's that burnt caramel or... Yeah, the finish is definitely not as hot. The finish lasts a lot longer on this, on the 23. There's almost a bit of a tea note, which I don't typically like mint or peppermint. I don't typically like tea notes, but I don't know. I think this one's doing it for me. I think I might actually like the 23 more, which is not what I expected. There's some richness. I'm not really a huge mint / spices guy, and it's kind of why I liked the 22 handy, because it was more just like a sugar bomb. Here, let's go back the other way and see. That's very delicious.
A few moments later.
Great, so I went back and forth on these bad boys here a few times. You know, I definitely like the 23 more. The 22 is a little hot. The 23 is a bit easier to drink, like way more than 3%. It feels like it's a good 6 or 7% less alcohol. I think it's actually sweeter, and the sweetness has a little bit more character to it. So the sweetness is there's a caramel to this that you don't necessarily usually pick up in a rye. There's a caramel sweetness, a depth there, and there is more mint and spices, which I don't generally like, but that caramel sweetness overshadows those. And this is more of a white sugar, less developed sweetness. And it's hot. The finish on this is actually really hot, and the flavor disappears really quick. The sweetness kind of disappears into a hot gunpowder explosion. Whereas the finish is kind of a nice, rich, caramelly spice deliciousness. So I think I like the 23 more actually, which surprised me. That really surprises me. So hopefully this helps. I don't know if anybody has got to side-by-side these yet online. If you get the chance between the two, I would say pick the 23. The Thomas Handy is always a win. These are always great. Like I said, this is my favorite daily drinker. I think it's simple enough, it's sweet enough, it's delicious enough to where I can drink this more or less daily and really appreciate it. And then, you know, I reach for the WLW or the Stag or the Coy Hill once or twice a week, you know. But this is my favorite daily drinker. So I hope you enjoyed this. Take care of yourself. This was Bourbon Forage Fish. I'd like it if you commented down below or left hit that subscription button, hit the like, you know all that jazz. I love it when you do that. Thank you so much. Take care.